The Forgotten Fleet. The massive shipyards of New Gibraltar buzzed with activity as sleek vessels of the Galactic Coalition glided between the towering construction frames. Gleaming hulls of titanium alloy reflected the light of the system's twin suns, while antimatter engines hummed with barely contained power. Among these symbols of advanced engineering, humanity's vessels looked like relics from a forgotten age. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the viewport of the carrier Redemption, watching as yet another Arcturian battlecruiser passed by, its crew probably wondering why such an ancient vessel was taking up valuable dock space. The Redemption's hull bore the scars of decades of service, its armor plating patched in places with mismatched metals. Even its name was partially obscured, the faded letters barely visible against the weathered surface. Another complaint from Coalition Command. Lieutenant Rodriguez announced from his communication station. They're requesting we relocate to the auxiliary docks. Again. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. Send them our usual response. Maintenance cycle in progress. Estimated completion time 48 hours. That's the third time this week, Captain, Rodriguez noted, though his own grin matched hers. They're getting more insistent. Let them, Sarah replied, turning from the viewport to survey her bridge. Unlike the holographic displays and neural interfaces of modern vessels, the Redemption's control center was filled with physical switches, buttons, and screens. To most observers, it looked hopelessly outdated. Few bothered to look closer, to notice the subtle modifications hidden beneath the antiquated exterior. The ship's AI, nicknamed Old Jack, spoke through speakers that deliberately crackled with static. Captain, I'm detecting increased quantum communications traffic among the Coalition fleet. The Nexus Empire's activities along the Outer Rim seem to have them concerned. Sarah nodded, making her way to the captain's chair, a sturdy piece of furniture that looked nothing like the gravity-controlled command seats of modern vessels. Show me the latest intelligence reports. The main screen flickered to life, displaying what appeared to be low-resolution sensor data. But buried within the seemingly primitive readouts was information gathered by sensors far more advanced than anything the Coalition possessed. The Nexus Empire's fleet movements matched the patterns we've been tracking, Old Jack continued. Their new quantum phase shields make them virtually invulnerable to conventional weapons. Coalition analysts estimate their forces could breach any defense line within hours. And what do our analysts say? Sarah asked, though she already knew the answer. That the Nexus Empire's overconfidence is their greatest weakness. They've become so reliant on their advanced technology that they've forgotten the fundamental principles of warfare. Their shield harmonics follow predictable patterns, and their targeting systems have blind spots they're unaware of. Sarah's fingers drummed against the armrest of her chair, feeling the hidden controls beneath the worn fabric. Around her, her crew worked at their stations, each one carefully maintaining the appearance of being nothing more than competent but unremarkable officers serving on an outdated vessel. Status of the rest of the 7th Fleet? She asked. All 20 ships report ready, Captain, Rodriguez answered. Though I doubt anyone's noticed, the Arcturians seem to think we're some kind of mobile museum. The humor in his voice carried an edge of anticipation. Like the Redemption, every ship in the 7th Fleet had been carefully crafted to appear obsolete, while hiding capabilities that would shock their allies and enemies alike. A priority alert flashed across the main screen. More encrypted Coalition communications. The Nexus Empire's fleet had been detected approaching the Outer Rim in force. Coalition Command was mobilizing their most advanced vessels to meet the threat. They still haven't asked for our assistance, Rodriguez noted. They won't, Sarah replied, settling deeper into her chair. The Coalition thinks humanity's fleet is barely worth protecting their own territory, let alone joining a major defensive operation. She paused, watching as another Coalition vessel passed by, its crew probably wondering why humanity even bothered maintaining such outdated ships. And that's exactly how we want it. The pieces were falling into place. Years of careful preparation, of playing the part of a species struggling to keep up with galactic technology, were about to pay off. The Nexus Empire was coming, confident in their superior technology and dismissive of any resistance. The Coalition would meet them with their most advanced ships, not realizing they were playing directly into the Empire's hands. And humanity's obsolete fleet would be waiting, ready to prove that true strength lies not in the shiniest technology, but in the ability to see beyond appearances and turn assumptions into advantages. "Send word to the fleet," Sarah ordered. "Begin final preparations. It's time to show the galaxy why they should have paid more attention to the ships they thought weren't worth noticing." As her crew acknowledged the order, Sarah allowed herself another small smile. The Nexus Empire was about to learn a valuable lesson. Sometimes the most dangerous opponent isn't the one with the most advanced technology, but the one patient enough to wait for the perfect moment to reveal their true strength. Silent preparations. Deep within the Redemption's engineering section, Chief Engineer Maya Patil moved through a maze of machinery that appeared to be held together by little more than determination and spare parts. Steam hissed from carefully placed vents, creating an impression of systems barely maintaining functionality. But like everything else aboard the carrier, appearances were deceiving. "Quantum core calibration complete," Maya announced, her hands dancing across a control panel that looked decades old but contained computing power that would make Coalition engineers weep with envy. "The harmonics are masked perfectly. Even a detailed scan would only show standard fusion reactors." Through the ship's internal communications, old Jack's voice crackled with artificial static. "Sensor networks report the Nexus Empire's vanguard has breached the outer rim. Coalition forces are mobilizing as predicted." Maya nodded, making minute adjustments to systems that shouldn't have existed in a ship this old. Around her, her engineering team maintained their practiced routine of appearing to struggle with outdated technology, while actually monitoring some of the most advanced systems ever created by human hands. "Status of the adaptive shield matrix?" she asked, directing her question to both old Jack and her team. "All sections report optimal functionality," responded Lieutenant Kumar from his station nearby. "The emitters are harmonizing perfectly with the false heat signatures we're broadcasting. As far as anyone can tell, we're running standard magnetic shields that barely meet minimum Coalition requirements." Maya allowed herself a moment of pride. It had taken years to perfect the technology that allowed their true capabilities to remain hidden. The Redemption and every other ship in the 7th Fleet had been transformed into something unprecedented. Vessels that could adapt and evolve their defenses in real time while appearing to be relics barely worth noticing. A sudden alert drew her attention to one of the malfunctioning displays. The Coalition's premier fleet, the Golden Armada, was moving into position to intercept the Nexus Empire's forces. Their quantum-encrypted communications filled subspace with chatter about their superior technology and unbreakable defenses. "They still haven't figured it out," Kumar noted, shaking his head. "The Nexus Empire's been feeding them exactly what they wanted to see. Every leaked technical specification, every skirmish that revealed their supposed capabilities, it was all carefully planned." "Pride makes for an excellent blindfold," Maya replied, remembering the countless times Coalition engineers had dismissed humanity's contributions to galactic technology. "They're so convinced of their own superiority that they never stop to question why the Nexus Empire's advances align so perfectly with their defensive developments." Through another carefully maintained illusion of aging systems, Maya accessed the quantum intelligence network that humanity had secretly established throughout Coalition space. Data streamed in, showing the movement of fleets and the building tension as two supposedly unstoppable forces prepared to meet. "Captain Chen is requesting final system checks," old Jack announced. "The Nexus Empire's main fleet will arrive within 12 hours. Maya began the prescribed sequence of diagnostics, each one designed to appear as nothing more than routine maintenance to outside observers. The true purpose was far more crucial, ensuring that every hidden system, every carefully concealed weapon, and every masked sensor array was ready for what was coming. "Send word through the fleet," she ordered her team. I want every ship's adaptive systems synchronized and ready. When the moment comes, we'll only have one chance to show them what humanity's been working on, while they were busy laughing at our obsolete technology." As her team acknowledged the order, Maya's thoughts turned to the coming battle. The Coalition's Golden Armada would charge in with their supposedly invincible shields, expecting their advanced technology to carry the day. The Nexus Empire would counter with weapons specifically designed to tear through those defenses, believing their victory was assured. Neither side had bothered to consider the quiet fleet of outdated human ships that had been watching, learning, and preparing. Neither had wondered why humanity seemed content to maintain vessels that appeared so hopelessly behind the times. Their assumptions would cost them dearly. Final calibrations complete, Maya reported to the bridge. "All systems are operating within planned parameters. We're ready." "Acknowledged," Captain Chen's voice replied, carrying the calm confidence that had guided them through years of preparation. "Maintain current status. Let them keep thinking we're nothing but a collection of aging ships trying to avoid the scrapyard." Maya smiled as she watched another Coalition vessel pass by, its crew probably pitying the humans forced to serve on such an ancient carrier. Soon, they would understand that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't advanced technology. It was the patience to let others underestimate them until the perfect moment to strike. The Redemption's engines hummed with carefully disguised power, ready to reveal their true nature when the time came. Throughout the ship, systems that shouldn't have existed waited in perfect synchronization, masked by the appearance of age and obsolescence. The stage was set for a revelation that would shake the galaxy's understanding of human capabilities. The first strike. The void between stars erupted with energy as the Nexus Empire's fleet dropped out of hyperspace. Their ships emerged in perfect formation, hundreds of vessels moving as one devastating force. Their hulls gleamed with an otherworldly iridescence, seeming to bend light itself around their quantum phase shields. From the Redemption's bridge, Captain Sarah Chen watched as the Coalition's Golden Armada moved to intercept. Their ships sparkled with new paint and pristine armor, confidence radiating from every transmission they broadcast. Coalition Command is ordering all auxiliary forces to fall back to secondary positions, Lieutenant Rodriguez reported, his voice carrying a hint of amusement. "They're graciously offering to protect humanity's outdated fleet. How thoughtful of them," Sarah replied dryly. "Acknowledge their order and begin our withdrawal. Old Jack, start broadcasting the appropriate engine struggle signatures." The carrier's engines coughed and sputtered convincingly as it began a seemingly labored retreat. Around them, the rest of the 7th Fleet did the same, each ship appearing to strain against the simple task of changing position. Through the main viewport, Sarah watched the Coalition's pride and joy move into attack formation. The Golden Armada's ships arranged themselves in tactical patterns they believed impossible to counter, their advanced sensors probing the approaching enemy for weaknesses. "The Nexus Empire is broadcasting on all frequencies," Rodriguez announced. A voice filled the bridge, its artificial translation carrying notes of superiority and disdain. "Coalition forces, your technological advancement ends here. Surrender now and spare yourselves the humiliation of defeat. Your defenses cannot withstand what we have prepared." The Golden Armada's response was immediate. "This is Admiral Venn of the Coalition's First Fleet. Your threats are meaningless against the most advanced ships in the galaxy. Withdraw now or face the consequences of your aggression." Sarah shook her head at the exchange. Both sides so certain of their superiority, neither realizing they were playing parts in a carefully orchestrated dance. "Position of our fleet?" she asked quietly. "All ships maintaining formation under the guise of defensive withdrawal," Old Jack reported. "We're being completely ignored by both sides, exactly as anticipated." The space between the two mighty fleets lit up as the first shots were fired. The Nexus Empire's weapons lashed out, their energy signatures precisely calibrated to the frequencies they had spent years tricking the Coalition into adopting. The results were devastating. Coalition ships reeled as their supposedly invincible quantum shields collapsed. Their elegant formations broke apart as vessels tried to adapt to defenses that suddenly proved worthless. The Golden Armada's confidence shattered as quickly as their protective barriers. Coalition Command is broadcasting emergency signals, Rodriguez reported, his fingers moving across his console to capture every transmission. They're calling for all available ships to assist. Sarah straightened in her chair. Signal the fleet. Begin Phase 1. The Redemption's apparent retreat slowed, its engines still broadcasting false signatures of strain and malfunction. Around them, the rest of the 7th Fleet did the same, their movements appearing uncoordinated and hesitant. Nexus targeting systems are tracking the coalition ships, Old Jack reported. They're completely ignoring us, dismissing our energy signatures as too weak to be worth engaging. Through the viewport, Sarah watched as more coalition ships fell to the precisely targeted attacks. The Nexus Empire's fleet moved with practiced efficiency, their strategy unfolding exactly as they had planned. Their weapons tore through the Golden Armada's defenses while their own shields flickered with impenetrable energy. They're pushing forward exactly as predicted, Sarah noted. All those years of leaked data, letting them think they understood everything about coalition technology. They never once considered there might be someone watching them while they watched everyone else. The Nexus fleet's formation shifted, spreading out to envelope the failing coalition forces. Their confidence was absolute, their victory seemingly assured. They paid no attention to the scattered group of aging human ships that appeared to be struggling to maintain even basic functions. All ships report ready, Rodriguez announced. Adaptive systems are synchronized and tracking every energy signature. The Nexus ships are broadcasting. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. Send the signal. The galaxy's about to learn why humanity spent so many years letting everyone think we couldn't keep up with their technological race. Throughout the 7th Fleet, systems hidden beneath layers of calculated deception hummed to life. Years of observation, analysis, and preparation were about to pay off. The Nexus Empire had sprung their trap on the Coalition, never realizing they were about to fall into one of their own. All ships acknowledge ready, Rodriguez reported. Waiting for your command, Captain. Sarah Chen looked out at the chaos of battle, at the mighty coalition ships falling to weapons they never saw coming, at the triumphant Nexus fleet that thought victory was within their grasp. Everything was positioned perfectly for humanity's moment to reveal what they had been preparing while the rest of the galaxy underestimated them. Well then, she said quietly, let's show them why they should have paid more attention to the ships they thought weren't worth noticing. Hidden strength. The moment of revelation began with what appeared to be a malfunction. The Redemption's external plating, weathered and patched from decades of service, suddenly began to shift. Sections that had seemed to be random repair work separated and realigned, revealing sophisticated sensor arrays and weapon ports that had been perfectly concealed. Throughout the 7th Fleet, similar transformations took place. The aging vessels that both the Coalition and Nexus Empire had dismissed shed their carefully maintained disguises like old skins, revealing the true nature of humanity's technological advancement. All ships reporting synchronized activation, Rodriguez announced, no longer bothering to maintain the pretense of antiquated communications. Adaptive defense systems are online and processing enemy attack patterns. Sarah Chen watched as the Nexus Empire's fleet continued their assault on the Coalition ships, still completely unaware of the threat assembling behind them. Old Jack, initiate primary countermeasures. Let's show them what we've learned from all those years of watching. The Redemption's hidden systems surged to life. Energy signatures that had been masked for years emerged at full power, their frequencies perfectly calibrated to exploit weaknesses that neither the Coalition nor the Nexus Empire knew existed in their own technology. Multiple Nexus vessels are detecting our power surge, Old Jack reported. They're attempting to analyze the readings, but our adaptive algorithms are already shifting frequencies faster than their systems can process. A new voice cut across the command channel. Admiral Venn of the Coalition, his previous confidence replaced by desperate confusion. Unknown vessels, identify yourselves immediately. Those energy signatures aren't possible from outdated human technology. This is Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth Fleet Carrier Redemption. Sarah responded, allowing herself a moment of satisfaction. We recommend you move your remaining ships clear of our firing solution. We hate to accidentally damage any of your advanced vessels with our obsolete weapons. Before either the Coalition or Nexus forces could respond, humanity's true capabilities were demonstrated with devastating clarity. The Redemption's weapon ports opened, releasing energy beams that shifted and adapted even as they crossed space. The Nexus Empire's supposedly impenetrable shields, designed to counter the Coalition's predictable technology, offered no defense against attacks that evolved faster than their systems could analyze. 3 Nexus heavy cruisers disabled, Maya reported from engineering, her voice carrying the excitement of finally operating their systems at full capacity. Their shield harmonics are trying to adapt, but we're already 10 steps ahead of their adjustment algorithms. Throughout the battlefield, the rest of the 7th Fleet executed their own attacks. Each human vessel demonstrated capabilities that had been developed and refined during years of perceived technological stagnation. The Nexus Empire's carefully planned strategy crumbled as they faced weapons and defenses that operated beyond their understanding. Enemy fleet is attempting to regroup, Rodriguez reported. They're trying to establish a defensive formation, but their targeting systems can't maintain locks on our ships. Our adaptive signatures are making them read a different profile every time they scan. Sarah nodded, watching as the mighty Nexus fleet found themselves in the same position they had just inflicted on the Coalition, facing an enemy that could bypass their defenses as if they didn't exist. Signal the fleet to begin Phase 3. Time to show them exactly what humanity's been working on while they were busy underestimating us. The Redemption's engines, no longer masking their true power, propelled the carrier through space with impossible grace. The ship's actual capabilities, hidden for so long beneath a carefully crafted illusion of age and decay, proved far beyond anything the Coalition or Nexus Empire had achieved. More Nexus ships fell to the human fleet's attacks, their advanced technology proving useless against weapons designed to exploit weaknesses they never knew they had. The remaining vessels attempted to withdraw, their commanders finally realizing the true nature of the trap they had walked into. Nexus command ship is broadcasting, Rodriguez announced. They're demanding to know how we developed this technology without detection. Sarah smiled, remembering all the times Coalition engineers had patronizingly explained why humanity's ships were hopelessly outdated. Send them our response. Sometimes the best way to advance isn't to show off every new development. Sometimes it's better to let others think you're struggling to keep up, while you watch and learn from their mistakes. The battle continued to unfold, but its outcome was now certain. The Nexus Empire's fleet, which had arrived so confident in their technological superiority, found themselves being systematically dismantled by ships they had dismissed as unworthy of attention. The Coalition forces watched in stunned silence as humanity's obsolete vessels demonstrated mastery of technologies they had thought impossible. All enemy ships are either disabled or in retreat, Old Jack reported. Their remaining vessels are abandoning their attack formation and attempting emergency hyperspace jumps. Sarah stood from her captain's chair, surveying the battlefield through the Redemption's main viewport. The mighty Nexus fleet was in ruins, their ships floating powerless in space or fleeing in disarray. The Coalition's Golden Armada, their own technology proven inadequate, maintained a respectful distance from the human vessels they had so recently dismissed. Send word to all ships, she ordered. Well done, everyone. Years of patience and preparation just paid off exactly as planned. Now, let's see how quickly the galaxy's opinion of human technology changes when they realize what we've been hiding all this time. Victory through ingenuity. The aftermath of the battle brought a silence unlike anything the galaxy had witnessed before. Debris from Nexus Empire vessels drifted through space, their once mighty hulls now serving as testament to the folly of overconfidence. The Coalition's Golden Armada maintained their distance from the human fleet, their commanders still struggling to process what they had witnessed. In the Redemption's conference room, Captain Sarah Chen sat across from Admiral Ven of the Coalition. The Admiral's eyes kept darting around the room, taking in details he had previously dismissed. Subtle technological innovations disguised as outdated equipment, advanced systems hidden beneath an appearance of age and wear. "How long?" he finally asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "How long have you been capable of this?" Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "That's not quite the right question, Admiral. We've been advancing our technology constantly, just like everyone else. The difference is, we chose to hide our progress while watching how others used theirs. But the resources required, the coordination needed to maintain such a deception." Ven shook his head in disbelief. Every human ship we encountered appeared outdated. Every scan showed the same aging technology. "Because that's what we wanted you to see," Maya explained from her position near the engine readouts. "While everyone else was focused on showing off their latest innovations, we were learning from their mistakes. Every new technology the Coalition or Nexus Empire revealed gave us more data to work with." Through the conference room's viewport, they could see Coalition engineering teams examining disabled Nexus vessels. The enemy fleet's survivors had fallen into hyperspace, leaving behind the wreckage of their supposedly superior technology. The Nexus Empire spent years feeding the Coalition carefully selected information, Sarah continued. They wanted you to develop specific defenses, ones they knew they could defeat. But they were so focused on their own deception that they never considered someone might be watching them too. Old Jack's voice came through the speakers, no longer masked by artificial static. Their predictability was their greatest weakness. Every advancement they revealed followed patterns we could analyze and counter. While they thought they were leading the Coalition into a trap, they were actually helping us perfect our adaptive systems. Admiral Ven's face showed a mix of admiration and concern. "And now that the galaxy knows what humanity is truly capable of, now we stop hiding," Sarah replied firmly. "The Nexus Empire's defeat shows the danger of assuming technological superiority. Perhaps it's time for all species to focus less on appearing advanced and more on actual innovation." Reports were already flooding in from across Coalition space. The remaining Nexus Empire forces were in full retreat, their carefully planned invasion crumbling in the face of humanity's unexpected capabilities. More importantly, their defeat had shattered the illusion of technological hierarchy that had dominated galactic politics. "The Coalition Security Council is requesting an emergency session," Rodriguez reported from his communication station. "They're particularly interested in discussing technology sharing agreements with Earth." Sarah exchanged knowing looks with her crew. "I'm sure they are. Amazing how quickly we went from being barely worth protecting to being valuable allies." Maya laughed from her station. "Should we tell them about the other systems we haven't revealed yet? The ones we developed while they were busy analyzing what we just showed them?" "All in good time," Sarah replied. "Let's let them adjust to what they've seen so far. After all, humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our patience in choosing when to reveal it." Through the viewport, she watched as Coalition ships began adapting their patrol patterns, now treating the human vessels with careful respect rather than dismissal. The galaxy's understanding of humanity's capabilities had been permanently altered, but Sarah knew this was just the beginning. In engineering sections throughout the 7th Fleet, systems that had remained hidden even during the battle continued their quiet operation. Humanity had revealed some of their advancements, yes, but not all. They had learned too well the value of keeping certain capabilities in reserve, of letting others underestimate them until the moment was right. "Send word to Earth Command," Sarah ordered. "Mission accomplished, but recommend maintaining development protocols on all new systems. Just because we're not hiding everything anymore doesn't mean we need to show all our cards at once." As the message was transmitted, Sarah looked around at her crew. The engineers who had maintained their deception for years, the officers who had played their parts perfectly, and the AI systems that had helped orchestrate it all. Together, they had proven that true advancement didn't always mean displaying every new capability. The Redemption's engines hummed with power that no longer needed to be disguised, yet Sarah knew that somewhere in the ship's laboratories, human engineers were already working on technologies that would remain hidden until they were needed. It was, after all, what humanity did best, advancing in secret while letting others think they knew our true capabilities. Advancement didn't always mean displaying every new capability. The Redemption's engines hummed with power that no longer needed to be disguised, yet Sarah knew that somewhere in the ship's laboratories, human engineers were already working on technologies that would remain hidden until they were needed. It was, after all, what humanity did best, advancing in secret while letting others think they knew our true capabilities. "Helm, set course for Earth," she ordered. "Time to plan our next steps." After all, this revelation was just the beginning. The galaxy's about to learn that underestimating humanity wasn't just a mistake, it was a lesson they'll never forget. As the Redemption turned toward home, its systems now operating openly at full capacity, Sarah thought about all the species who had dismissed humanity as technologically backward. They would be racing to reevaluate every interaction, every scan, every assumption they had made about human capabilities. And somewhere in the ship's hidden laboratories, human innovation continued, preparing for the day when once again, being underestimated would prove to be humanity's greatest advantage.